Okay, these are your notes for Chapter 5, Section 2. It's about factoring. In particular, we're going to factor things that look like this: x squared plus bx plus c. Alright, so let's remind ourselves what FOIL is. Alright, if I have x plus 3 times x minus 2, I know if I multiply the first together, I get x squared. The last, I get negative 2x. The outsides. The insides, you get 3x, and the last, you get negative 6. Again, that is 6. That is x times x, x and negative 2, 3x, and 3 and negative 2. Okay. And then we take these two things right here, and we combine them to get x and minus 6 and an x squared plus that. Alright, so that's foiling. Alright, so if I want to factor that, I'm going to use something called reverse FOIL. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second. We'll come back to that. The idea is if I have my expression, I got that, I want to factor x squared plus x minus 6. I want to factor that to where my middle two terms, okay, negative 2x plus 3x, okay, my middle two terms, I want to do that. So I know with a negative 6, I got the negative 6 from doing 3 times negative 2. So my last is equal to negative 6, which I got from 3 times negative 2. And I know I got my middle term, okay, my middle term here, positive 1x, by taking my outside and my inside and adding them together. Okay, so I've got my outside, I got as negative 2x, and my inside, I've got as 3x, and when I add those together, I get 1x, or just x. Okay, so what that tells me is I need x plus 3 and x minus 2. The idea with reverse FOIL is we look for factors of C that add to B. Okay. So on my particular problem, I had x squared plus x minus 6. In this case, B is equal to 1, C is equal to negative 6. I want factors of negative 6 over here, factors of negative 6 that add to B. So that's 1 times negative 6, 2 times negative 3, 3 times negative 2, and 6 times negative 1. Now, which one of those add to positive 1? If I check each one, that's equal to negative 5, it's equal to negative 1, it's equal to positive 1, that's equal to 5. So that tells me that this one right here is where I get that. So that creates my factors. My factors being x plus 3 and x minus 2. Alright, so let's look at some examples doing that same thing. For all of these, we're going to factor. First example. Alright, so as you get comfortable with this, there's more and less work that you can do as you need to do it. Alright, so x squared minus 7x plus 10. Okay, so for this particular problem, I'm going to write down what what B is equal to, -7, and what C is equal to, +10. C can be factored into 1 and 10, 2 and 5, -2, -5, -1, -10. If I add those going down, 1 plus 10 is 11, 2 plus 5 is 7, -2 and -5 is -7, -1 and -10 is 11. So that tells me for my particular problem, I want -2 and -5. So I can take my original here, and I rewrite it with factors, x minus 2, x minus 5. All right, so that's that one factored. Let's look at the next one. Example 2. We have x squared minus 9x plus minus 36. Okay, again, I'm going to go the process. B is equal to -9. C is equal to -36. Okay, so I want factors of -36 that add to -9. I can do 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9. They're positive and negative, and then 6 and 6. Now, because this sign is negative here, these have to be negative. This is negative, so the larger ones have to be negative. So negative, 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 negative. Now, if I look at each of those and figure out what the sum of those is, all right, it will answer my question. So I get -9 when I do 3 plus a -12. So I can go back over here, and that means I can factor this as x plus 3 and x minus 12. Okay, let's look at another one. Example 3, x squared plus 7x plus 8. All right, so looking for B, which is 7, C, which is 8. Factors of 8 are these: 1 and 8, 2 and 4, -1, -8, -2, -4. All right, none of those add to 7. We've got lots of things here, but none of them add to +7. We get 9, we get 6, we get -9, we get -6. So what we say for this answer is we say it's non-factorable over the integers. All right. So this is normally where I would give you some ones to try on your own. So I'm going to write them down here. You want to factor these. Okay. So you can pause it, try these problems, and then come back and check it. Okay, so I'm going to give you a second to write them down, so you can pause it now and then come back and check it in a second to see if you got them right. So I'm going to start working these problems now, just like I did before. B is equal to 9, C is equal to 20. Factors of 20 that add to 9 are 5 and 4. So when I factor it, I get x plus 5, x plus 4. Over here, B is equal to 7, C is equal to -18. Factors of -18 that add to +7 are 9 and -2. So I get x plus 9, x minus 2. That's it for the first part of Chapter 5, Section 2.